Let me tell you something. A driver don't pick the car. Car pick the driver. It's a mystical bond between man and machine. It's a mystical bond between man and machine.
Who are you? Do you speak? I won't hurt you. What's your name? You got people out there who need you. This is why you're here, Bee.
You know, beat music can help you say what you're feeling. Try this.
What's going on, guys? This is Entertainment Critic and welcome to my first breakdown for the Bumblebee movie that's coming out at Christmas this year, starring Haley Steinfeld and John Cena. This is going to be a breakdown for the first trailer that they released, and yeah, getting straight into this, I feel that this movie is going to be a lot more character focused. This is clear from the trailer, first of all, because there's no world-ending stakes that are clearly shown in the trailer, like we have seen with the other films. It seems more character-driven, focused around just the character of Bumblebee and his relationship with this girl. And obviously, John Cena seems to be playing more of a military role in this film, which he has done in other films. So I feel like he can act at some point. So it depends on what kind of script he is given and what he can work with, to depending on how good of an actor he can actually be. And from the looks of this film, that he might actually be able to have a stand-up performance in this. I'm not promising anything, I'm not saying he will, but there's a chance that could happen. And I haven't really seen Haley Steinfeld in anything other than what we've seen in this trailer, but her acting in this trailer seemed pretty good, and it really got across the feeling of this girl who discovers a transformer, and she is genuinely curious and intrigued about this world and what she's gotten herself into. And the way she discovers Bumblebee is actually quite funny, and it's quite cute at the same time, and I'll get into that later when I get through that scene breakdown. But getting straight into it, starting off, we get the 3, 2, 1 countdown for the Bumblebee trailer, and we get a shot of Bumblebee, and we actually see Bumblebee here, a close-up of him, and it is clear that they've redesigned him so he looks like his G1 Bumblebee look, which is awesome, because the Michael Bay designs, they're okay. They seem to be going for more realism than like what the source material offers, which is I could kind of see where they're going from there, because they were trying to set it in the real world, but then they kind of veered off. And I like the redesigns of these characters, how they look more like the G1, and I think this G1 redesign suits Bumblebee, and it really brought it into the big screen well. Even though they have a smaller budget, I feel like all of the Transformers that we only saw 2 Transformers in this, they actually look really good. And I don't think they're gonna end up being a CGI mess or whatever they end up being in the Michael Bay movies. And speaking of the Michael Bay movies, those were obviously more action set piece derived, and this is more character driven. And we can see that from the voiceover we have over the top of these opening scenes, where there's a guy talking about the bond between man and machine, and how the the man doesn't pick the driver, it's the driver that picks the man. And that is really true for what happens with Bumblebee later on. We obviously see that Bumblebee ends up choosing Sam, even though Sam goes to Bumblebee because he likes the design. Bumblebee ultimately ends up choosing him because he makes sure that he takes him in from that garage because he breaks every other car in the garage, which is a scene that I liked. But going forward in this, it seems that she finds Bumblebee and takes him around. Maybe she buys him and finds him while he's just crashed from Cybertron. And something I thought was really interesting for them to explore is that maybe Bumblebee has like PTSD from the War of Cybertron. And I think this because from the trailer, once she discovers Bumblebee and he transforms, from where she discovers him is something drops down from under his body, and she goes to investigate and ends up seeing his head. He ends up transforming and then hides in the corner, and I think that was really cute. But getting more into this, I feel that the reason why he was hiding in the corner, why he was so docile and scared, was because he had just crashed from Cybertron, and he was in a bloody war, and it's really given an impact on him. And maybe the way that he is in the movies is more him trying to hide what he really feels like, what the war had done to him, and that he was making jokes to make light of the situation. So, and people watching this may not have seen the CW shows, but I'm going to compare it to The Flash, because in The Flash we had the character of Ralph Dibny, who had to cover up the trauma of his past. He made jokes and cracked jokes and always put a smile on, which is what I feel that they could do with Bumblebee here. They could have him, like in this movie, they could have him to show him having the effects of PTSD, and then slowly throughout the movie he gets more and more confident, grows out of his shell, and he grows into the character that we see him be in the main series. So obviously we see at the end of the trailer that she is trying to show him how to express himself, and that is a funny moment, but it is also an important moment because we know that it's an important aspect of Bumblebee's character throughout the movies that he actually talks through radio transmissions and like different songs. So her putting essentially rickrolling him and him ejecting it, yes, that is a funny moment, but that is also important for his character because we see that is how he knows how he can talk through the radio, because obviously it doesn't make much sense in the first movie, and it isn't really explained that well how he knows how he can talk from the radio if he's from another world. And obviously first movie goes and explains it, where this girl actually showed him that he can do that, how he can express himself through other ways that isn't talking, because we know that during the war his voice box was actually damaged. So that is a thing that I'm looking forward to them exploring throughout this. And obviously we do get a couple of action shots, but we do see like more character driven moments between Haley Stanfield character and Bumblebee. We do get a shot of John Cena, and that confirms that he's going to be in a military role throughout this movie, which is something I'm interested to see, because like I said, John Cena has played a military character before. I do kind of feel like he did it quite well, but like I said, it all depends on the script he is given to what he can perform with. So we do then get a shot of another Transformer in this film, and that is, I think it's already been confirmed to be Starscream, and he's had a redesign, so he looks more like his G1 model, which I'm liking the fact that they got an all G1 for this. And there is another Decepticon that has been confirmed for this, and that is Barricade. And I feel that these two characters are perfect choices for antagonists for Bumblebee, because we do see in the main series that they do act as like antagonists for Bumblebee. So we see in the first film and the fifth film that both Bumblebee and Barricade both have chase scenes where they're like fighting each other, and then in the third film we do see the rivalry between Bumblebee and Starscream, where Bumblebee ultimately ends up killing Starscream. So it's going to be interesting to see the birth of their hatred for each other, because we do know that there are obviously two sides of the war. One's Autobot, one's Decepticon, but it'd be interesting to see more character development, see how they got to the point they were in the main series, because like I said, in the main series Michael Bay movies, he didn't really focus on developing the characters. He more focused on what looked good, what was visually pleasing, and they did look good, and they did have good scores, but they didn't really focus down on the character. The only characters that they really focused down on the human aspect, were in the original 3 trilogy, it was Sam Witwicky and his parents and Nest, and then in the later 2, it was Cade Yeager and his adventures with anybody he was with, really. So that is really interesting to see how they explore the human aspect of this, because we do know the human aspect is the relatable aspect for the people who are watching the movie, because obviously people going to watch the movie aren't robots, so they have to kind of have the humans in it to make it about people. But I would be interested, because they were making a Cybertron spin-off movie which was animated, but I'm not sure the future of that, because if you guys weren't aware, recently Paramount Pictures actually cancelled Transformers 6, I believe it is. Well, not cancelled. They've given it an undefined release date, which means that it could come out at any point. There is a slot, I think it's 21/21 or 2022, which it could fill, but that all depends on the success of this movie. And if this movie does well, then they will probably put that next movie into production. And I feel that if by eliminating the Michael Bay presence from the Transformers franchise completely, it will improve the quality of the movie as a whole and allow for more room for character development, which is something that these movies have been lacking throughout all of them. So I'm going to be interested to see like the character development, and obviously the cast in this movie, they're going to be more disposable than most of the characters in any of the other movies. I don't know if this is going to spin off into a franchise. It could. They could have multiple Bumblebee spin-off movies, and by the end of this movie he doesn't actually go to find Sam and he has more adventures with her. But I have a feeling that Haley Stanfield's character might actually end up dying by the end of this movie, which is then what sets Bumblebee on the course of leaving her, because he feels that he failed her as a guardian, and the fact that he's hiding when Sam finds him, he's essentially hiding. Maybe he's hiding in shame because he couldn't protect her, and that is why he has such a strong bond with Sam, and why he wanted to protect him so much, because he had already failed somebody else. And maybe that was why he was so hesitant when he was first met Sam to like really reveal himself to him, and then when he grew out of his shell, he then grew to like him and he wanted to protect him. And we see that at the end of the first movie, where he says he speaks for the first time, which is then kind of retconned, but that's not the point. He actually speaks at the end of the first movie saying that he wishes to stay with Sam. So that is something that they could explore also, how he's like how he actually grows into the character that we see him. And I know I seem to be repeating myself for this, so I'm going to try and wrap this up, because this was a teaser trailer. It was a 2-minute teaser trailer, which was interesting, because I have a feeling that there should be another trailer. There should be at least 2 more trailers, I think, before December rolls around. I have a feeling there will be one at Comic-Con, and then maybe there'll be one in September, October time, right before the movie is about to release. I think it's at the beginning of December it releases. So that would be when the last trailer will come out, and the next trailer we're going to get is going to have more of the plot and story features of what's going to be happening in the movie. This was just a teaser to keep us going until the next one, and I have a feeling that character trailer will be released at Comic-Con, because that is the biggest place for you to really release a pop culture trailer. So yeah, that is what I'm predicting for the trailer 2 for Bumblebee to come out. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this trailer breakdown for the Bumblebee movie, which is releasing Christmas this year, please do hit the like button if you know your support is very much appreciated, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.